gonna drop back for heel hooks, for ankle locks, for even the twisting foot locks.
Yeah.
What do you guys call them? I always say twisting. What is it?
They
toe hold.
Toe holds out here.
Man.
Yeah. But I've heard both. I have heard both. Like they'll call knee bars leg bars sometimes. Yeah. That's always weird to me, but it is. But think about it. It's an arm bar. Yeah, it's a leg bar.
An elbow bar.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's true.
Yeah,
elbow bar. All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode of Open Mat Chronicles, 1865 Rod here. And as always, we come at you every Wednesday. We got my man Schaefer up in the house. What's up, Schaefer?
What's going on, everybody? Schaefer's in the house. Welcome to another episode of Open Mat Chronicles. And it might be Wednesday. It might be, who knows? I don't know when it is. As long as you're listening, as long as you're sharing this with everybody, as long as you're riding with us, we're cool. So welcome to Open Mat Chronicles. Check it out, Rod. So you had a good one today, right? This is all 1865 Rod. He had a really good.
I'm always thinking this jiu-jitsu stuff.
You're very thoughtful, very deep thought kind of guy. And bonus points for anyone who knows the movie that housed deep thought. If you can tell me that, you're cool with my book.
I don't even know that.
I know you didn't know. I knew you didn't know. Maybe
new?
Hell no, it's not new. Anyone who knows deep thought and the answer to all things. All right, I know some of you know it. I know some of you know
that one. You got me there.
Watch, you're gonna see it in. You're definitely gonna see it in the comments. All right, so Rod, you were giving some deep thought to this, and
I was gonna give
tell what you want to say. First of all, break it down.
Public service announcement. Number one, ditch your Instagram moves. Get rid of it. Get off Instagram, right? That's number one. Let's take it from there, Shaver.
All right, because that was harsh. That was you've already just struck a lot of nerves.
Like, what are you talking about?
Delete Instagram. What? Yeah. Hey.
No, but there's an element of truth to it. I'm not saying really get rid of all Instagram because I get a lot of cool stuff from Instagram. But what I'm saying is you have to filter it, I think, huh? There's a lot of not so cool stuff on Instagram because it's designed to look flashy and to be a highlight reel, basically. I would say a lot of those moves, they're not going to really work in real time, or they're designed for like a specific guy's, body type, guy or girl body type,
right?
Or maybe a certain level of athleticism that maybe you, as 40-year-old Joe the accountant, you don't have.
Probably
right?
not. Yeah, so for sure, like plenty of times, because I've fallen victim to this too. Scrolling through, you're like, oh, this is kind of neat.
Yeah.
And then you look at it and you're like, I know this could work, this could apply. But then, does it really stand up to the smell test? Look, you have a really good procedures manual, for choosing whether or not what you might see on Instagram is worth a damn. If it's worth your time, if it's worthwhile, if it's something you would ever even consider sharing with other people, right?
Correct.
Now, do you want to give them like a step-by-step, like where do we start? Like what's the first day? You see it on Instagram, you go, this shit looks all right.
Dope.
Yeah,
right?
This shit is dope. What's it going to be? And then what do you do first?
So first you have to have enough jiu-jitsu experience to know whether or not it's something that's even going to fit into your wheelhouse, right? So if you're a guy that's not athletic and you see a guy doing a Eminari roll, yeah, it looks cool, but you got to know maybe that's not for me, right?
Okay.
So there's a certain level of I've been grappling for a long time. I can kind of weed out what's going to work for me, what's not going to work for me. But let's say I find something that kind of it looks like it'll work. It also has to end up, let's say it's a sweep of some kind or something, right? Okay. Or a reversal. It's got to land me in a position that I want to be in, right?
Gotcha.
So if I'm a top player and I want to be, and ultimately I start in like combat base, it's got to get me to that position, right? It's not going to do me any good to just, I don't know. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
I saw a really cool move. It looked really good. And it was like a sweep from single leg X.
All right.
And it was a sweep, boom, and he popped up to like combat base.
Okay.
And so in my opinion, it was like, okay, it looked pretty flashy, it looked cool and all that, but like it wasn't for me because like why am I going to waste all the beautiful benefits that come with single leg X for leg locks and leg entanglements to go to a sweep, Like
Right.
now I'm just a combat base where I could have been ripping your leg off. Like I'd rather take the submission or go to another leg entanglement. That's just me personally. So
Gotcha.
for me, it wasn't a move that worked. So it's got to pass that test.
This kind of just took you to almost a neutral position.
It's like being neutral. I wasn't even advanced. I was just up. Like, will you slap hands and you're in combat base? This is
Okay.
no big deal.
Okay.
So that's the first test. Now, once I get past that, if it looks like it has promise, I'll take it into one of the other black belts. Preferably, it'll be like Gus, one of our, main instructors.
Right.
Or, it could be you. It could be anyone, right?
Yeah.
As long as they're the, experienced, seasoned black belt, let's try the move out.
They should be able to see the move and kind of dissect it just visually, first of all. They should be able to see and go, all right, well, I could see where maybe this could be problematic, or I could see how, oh, yeah, this could be really, really good. And then you're kind of having that conversation back and forth with your peers. With your peers or with people who are better than
They
us.
should be, at least you're equal or better.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you've talked it out with them, right? They look at it and they go, all right, yeah, I could see the promise in this. It's like maybe this could be an issue, maybe not. Then what do you do? So you've talked it out.
It's got to pass that test, right?
Okay.
So if it doesn't pass that test, then you dump it in the trash bin, right?
All right.
If it's something obvious, right?
Yes.
If it's obvious. Like there was one I was working on. It was a weird guard, and I was kind of working it, but then you pointed out like there's a so easy wrist lock right there. Like, oh my god, I didn't even see that. Like this is horrible.
Right.
No, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna.
It's an obvious flaw, right?
I'm not gonna. Yeah, it still looked kind of cool. I'm not gonna totally throw it in the 86 bin, but it moved from like priority A to priority like D.
Oh shit.
Right? It's like way down the list because like that is a major flaw right there.
For sure.
For anyone that knows it. So that's it. But then the next thing is now I'm gonna maybe modify it to work with me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start drilling it with one of my drilling partners, like my main drilling partner, basically.
All right,
We're gonna work
gotcha.
on it together and see how it goes.
So you've got first visually you kind of eyeball it. You're like, all right, this might be worth my time. Boom, you get there. Now you're talking to your peers or people who've been doing it longer or whatever, and you're like, all right, let's see what you guys see. I mean, can you easily pick this apart? See, give me a glaring reason why this won't work.
Yeah.
And if we go, well, shit, I don't really see a glaring reason why this won't work. This might be legit.
Yeah.
Then you're going to say, okay, you're going to grab your drilling partners. I mean, I tell you, you got your crew,
yeah.
boy. You got a little
little
killer
circle,
crew.
little inner circle.
You do. Your circle's dangerous.
Yeah,
so then you start working this with them.
Yeah.
Like, do you introduce it and go, hey guys, we're all going to learn this, or you kind of go like, nah, this is my shit. I'm just going to
No, I never do that. No, I have my one guy that I share everything with, and he knows who he is. And I'll usually work with that individual, for several weeks on something, right?
Okay.
If it's good and we like it and we start hitting it, there's a couple of other guys that we'll maybe share it with that have a similar rolling style, or they're, you can tell they really like the sport, they're hungry.
Right.
Those types of guys. I'm not going to just share it with just everybody randomly. I'm not going to
Okay,
do
you're
that.
not shotgunning it
No.
out there.
I'm sharing it with like specific people that, maybe have promise, or they're excelling in the sport, or they're hungry for knowledge. Those people. And I know who they are.
Okay.
But that's not to say if somebody asked me, I wouldn't show them. But
Yeah,
I'm not going to
sure.
seek them out. Basically, I'm only going to seek out this
Right.
random few.
You got your click. And
Yeah,
in that click, now you guys are all kind of
Yeah.
like brainstorming this thing. You're like workshopping it. I
Yeah.
think they call it, right? If you're going to workshop this move, okay.
Because before I even give it out to like 3 or 4 or 5 of those other people, I still want to make sure it's good. So I'm running it with my main training partner first.
Okay.
And then once we've worked it for a couple weeks, like, okay, this is actually legit, and we both hit it a few times, then I feel it's safe, and then we can start sharing it with some of those other, some of the wider guys
Gotcha.
on our team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you've workshopped it. You're liking the move. Is this now you're like, okay, boom, done. Here's my stamp of approval, or then do you start field testing it more? Like, what are you?
Yeah,
what
it's
are
a
you
good.
looking at?
Yeah, I like that. You got to field test it. Yeah, you got to get some real life anecdotal evidence, right? So you have to actually use it and hit it in live rolls. And this is just my standard for teaching, so it's going to be a
Okay.
little bit
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
So I won't teach it until it's past all these different, metrics. And then if I start hitting it live rolls, because then you can ultimately see like what's going to happen, what are the reactions, and I'm successful in it.
Okay.
Then I'll teach it. Then I'll teach it at that point.
So this is something that realistically could take weeks to months.
Takes
of
a minute,
you
dude.
Really
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
if you really like it,
Yes.
you've dug deep into
You're not
this.
just grabbing them off Instagram and then just flowing it a few times and then teaching it. I say don't do that as an instructor.
Right.
I don't think that's good because
Okay.
you don't really know what the reactions are going to be. You're working with like an unresisting partner,
True.
opponent. You don't know what's going to happen in a live
Right,
roll.
so you don't want to show a bunch of shit and they go, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then they actually try to apply it and they're like, yo, this is trash.
Because I've had moves that look really good on paper and there's no flaws. We've drilled it.
Right.
And it passes all those tests, right? But then I get to the live roll part and it's like, dude, I can never hit this. Like, I don't know why. You're just like, I'm just never in that situation.
Because
it's like
if they don't do exactly this thing, if they don't give it to you, it's not going to happen.
So it fails that last test. It's like, I'm not really going to teach it because it means it could be good, but it's so low probability that it might be good for somebody that has, a lot of experience. Maybe you keep it in your back pocket in case that situation comes up, right? But it's probably not going to come up for a long time, so I'm not going to show that. It's going to be lower.
You also have the diminishing return of how much time would you put into something that is so much of a niche freaking thing that maybe if all the stars align and this guy presents it, I can hit this move and look real cool, but I've just spent months developing something that might get hit,
dude,
once in a freaking blue moon.
You're describing like the way I started, when I was coming up.
Right.
I was doing that. And that was a fault of my own or whatever. Maybe it's just the environment. But I was spending a lot of time on moves that could potentially work, and maybe they'd work well for a person at a different level. Maybe you're just better and you could hit it more. But for me, those situations just didn't come up that very often.
And it just
they
didn't
were
make sense.
The stars had to line up, and I'm like, dude, I just wasted a lot of time on this crap.
Which is why I'm so much of a basic freaking jiu-jitsu guy. I almost said basic bitch, but I'm super basic with my jiu-jitsu. I don't hit too many fancy things, man. I've put years and years into some real standard jiu-jitsu, and I think it served me well, But okay, so I'm loving this, right? You're in here, you're doing all these things. How deep into a move? Now, let's say you're weeks in, and you've made a time commitment, right? You've actually said, all right, I'm trying to make this work. I'm screening out all the mistakes that could come with it. What's like the deepest you've got into something and then just said, shit, man, I'm not going to use this anymore. It's just not going to work.
Okay, so it would be that one move, the wrist lock move, where it's not the wrist lock, but that guard.
The guard one.
So I was actually deep down the rabbit hole on that, and I was doing it in a live roll, and I saw a couple of other like flaws where it's like, oh yeah, this is kind of bad. I'm not finding a solution for it. Like, I guess I could spend a lot of time to try to find a solution, but I don't know if it's really the best move. But it was okay. Like, it would work like maybe 60% of the time it would work, but the 40% of the time it went bad, it would go bad. So it's probably not going to be. You don't see me doing it anymore, do you?
Yeah, for sure. You've
I'm not doing it.
Okay.
And I spent some time in it. So but one more thing too, I would say is that you don't want to over drill things too. Cause like I was working with my training partner and we've been drilling like 3 moves after class a lot. But one of the moves, we kind of both have it down. We have it down. And I told him like, hey man, we're kind of good. I don't think we should really drill it that much more.
Right.
Let's add a new one into this pipeline.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
So by no means are you telling him, you found this one move, and this is all you do for the next month. I mean, you might have like, 3, 4, 5 things that you're working on at the same time, or like, what's your number? What's your max?
For me, it's like about 3 things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking at possibly 3 different moves, whether it be a sweep, attack, or whatever it might be.
Whatever it is, yeah.
But you probably don't try to overwhelm yourself because you still got regular classes you have to teach. You have regular classes to attend. You got all your freaking open mats and stuff.
Yeah.
So this you have to fit in.
I got to fit it in.
Like, how much time are you giving it in a class?
I would say we're probably giving it a good 15 minutes. We're drilling it like every time we see each other. We're drilling like 15 minutes. So it's not like a huge amount of time, but it's enough to where you don't really need to over drill it. Like my point too was like, okay, here's when we're going to stop drilling it. Once we have it to where you don't need to think about, like, okay, I got to put the leg down. I got to do this. Like once you could just do it on autopilot in a drill, you're good. At that point, now you need to just go do it live, basically.
So you got to just find it. You got to find the opportunity while you're rolling.
Because if you keep drilling it, what you're going to do is it may make things worse because now you're actually preparing yourself to hit that roll, and you're expecting these particular set of outcomes, which is a guy doing nothing, laying on his back, letting you get it.
Right.
So you need to get out there and actually roll in a live, and try to hit it live. Try to hit the entry.
Okay.
See what happens when they put some resistance, and then you already know the mechanics of it, and then you can make some. Because you might say, hey, Rod, I tried it, and this guy did this. I'm like, yeah, that guy did do that. Well, let's figure out what we can do. Let's fix that.
Okay.
So the drilling.
So you can start reverse engineering.
You reverse engineer the flaws in it. So just drilling it. That's why they say drillers are killers to a point. But you can't. You can over drill, though, in my opinion.
Okay. That's legit.
Drilling won't expose the other problems that could come up during a live roll. They just show you the mechanics of it.
You have to see it in the real world.
You got to see it in the real world, and it won't take you.
Oh, I was going to say, when you're drilling, you're like in a laboratory. You're like in a sterile lab environment.
Yes.
And you don't know what would happen if you threw some dirt on it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, first of all, Rod's giving you guys some real good shit here right now. And since he's giving you such good shit, we hope that you appreciate it and that you will like, share, and subscribe. Definitely share. Put this out to other people and say, oh, you know what? These guys, they start to sound like they know what the hell they're talking about, man. This is enjoyable stuff. So, okay. Now, this was like part of what I wanted to talk to you about, right? Like, getting your perspective on how you do this. Before we jump ship on that part.
Yeah.
So then once you have seen it and you've lived it and you see how it can work in the real world, that's when you're like, I'm ready to share this knowledge out to the rest of the crowd, or or do you keep it in your back pocket and beat people up with it for a while?
It depends on what it is. Like I have a whole system, dude. I ain't sharing. No, I can't. No, but there are some moves I try to keep kind of close to the pocket, and it's not like they're secret moves. Anybody that rolls with me, they know my game. They know what I do.
They'll see it,
but I don't necessarily teach a lot of that stuff. You know, maybe I'll teach it down the road, but I don't know.
So once you've basically made it your own, then at some point you're like, okay, I'll put this out to, because by then you might say, oh shit, I just found some new stuff. I'm gonna freaking integrate
That's usually what happens. I have new stuff.
So
and then,
okay.
Yeah.
Nice. It's like people like in art galleries, you know, some art's on the wall, and it's like after a while you take that down and you put something else up, because you don't want to just keep staring at the same shit all the time.
Exactly.
Okay. I like that. So the other thing I wanted to ask was this. So this is kind of how, you know, you're to this point where you're developing new shit for your game. But what about people who are like getting started, right? Or who might ask, well, how do I develop the jiu-jitsu player I'm going to be? Like, what are some of the factors that make you who you are when you're doing jiu-jitsu? Like, I guess, are you like going to be constrained to your body type, or constrained to where you learn, or constrained to like you're going to be these certain things because of these particular circumstances in your life? Or can you become a type of jiu-jitsu player you want to become, and how would you do it?
That's an interesting question,
right? It's like like
that's interesting.
I don't know that at this point in time I can become the standing guard and the open guard guy and all this. I think I'm relegated to what I do.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting point, and it makes a lot of sense, because like for me, a lot of these moves, they have to ultimately fit into my style of jiu-jitsu. That's like the first test it's got to pass, but that's going to be just specific to just me, right?
Right.
So if it doesn't pass muster, if it's some like heavy pressure top pass, I don't even want to see it, dude. It's like
you're not
I don't do that. That's not my style. So that'll weed a lot of them out right there. So that's a really good point. So to answer your question, I think it depends on the individual, like where you are in your jiu-jitsu journey, and that kind of leads to like how do you determine like your style, right? How do you know, like? And I think maybe like mid blue right there, you're kind of figuring out where
when you kind of get deeper into your blue, you're like, okay, this is how I'm going to fight. Right.
Yeah.
In the beginning, they're just throwing a bunch of shit at you. You're like, shit, I don't know what to take. I'm just like, I'm gonna try this Berimbolo. I'm gonna try this scissor sweep. I'm gonna try this Toriando pass. I'm gonna try this X guard and butterfly. And you don't know what the hell you want to do.
You don't know what you're gonna be. Like a white belt has no concept. Well, some do though.
Some do.
Some white. If you're like kind of midway through your white belt, you start knowing. Yeah. You get it.
But like if you're coming in as a blank slate.
Oh no, you better at least have a couple stripes. Then you kind of know. You speak the language of jiu-jitsu.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But if you don't have any stripes on your belt and then you're new, no, you're not going to know.
Yeah, so you shouldn't be worried about making your game anything. You should just try to stand in base.
Well, here's a good. Okay, so I wrote these 4 like little bullet points down, and maybe you could add to it. But I think if you could answer these questions to yourself honestly, that'll tell you like what your style is. So I would say the first one is: do you like standing or pressure passing?
Okay.
Like
that's a good starting point.
Big determination on what you are, right? The next one is: do you like that? If you're on the bottom, do you like closed guard or do you like open guard?
All right.
Right.
That makes sense.
Third one is
it's like we're building a jiu-jitsu player here.
like
All right, that's
Avatar.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
And the third one is, are you more of a top? If you had your preference, would you be a top player or a bottom player?
Okay.
Right. And then, so basically, what it is like whatever you choose, basically, it determines the available like submissions that are going to be there,
Gotcha.
like the positions, right?
Okay, and you're right. So, because I'm sitting here, like, for me, I would much prefer the top, right? Because bigger guy. I like upper body attacks. I like
Pressure
Kimuras. I
pass.
like pressure pass. I like to be able to drive through people.
Grab somebody's throat,
Right. But if I am on my back, I like a closed or at least a half Z guard. I like
you do see a butterfly,
right? For open guard, that's like the only open guard I do.
It's a weird open guard because it's not like you're not doing a traditional open guard,
right?
So
it's still in tight. It's still close,
yes.
But like that's the only open guard I really go to
Yeah.
is butterfly.
Yeah.
But I would prefer to have you in a lockdown. I would prefer to have you in full closed guard or at least Z guard where I'm still kind of hooked into your leg and it's just a lot of connection, right? But I think all of my guards lend very well to sweeps.
They do,
Because
they do.
All I really want to do, if I'm on my back, I'm trying to sweep you
to get to
so
top.
I can get my top position.
Yeah.
And then if you regard me, I can pressure pass through it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't hit you with a sweep, then jump to my feet and do a Toriano pass. That's
never,
not my
never.
game.
That's
right?
not your style.
Not my style at all.
Yeah.
But then if you are an open guard person,
Yeah.
you might be like, okay, I'm hitting this spider guard, and I still want to sweep, but my sweep might then bring me to combat base where I might pop up, grab your legs, throw you past.
You made a good point, yeah. The guys that do the open guard like the spider lasso, they tend to be the stand-up Toriano pass. And that is 100% true because that's me, dude, all the way. I like doing standing passes, not the drive down the middle, pressure passing. It's just not my style.
And then you also got, like you said, if you're cool with playing from your back, a lot of times you're this leg lock guy. You're gonna drop back for heel hooks, for ankle locks, for even the twisting foot locks.
Yeah.
What do you guys call? I always say twisting. What is it?
They
toe
call
hold.
Toe holds out here.
Man.
Yeah. But I've heard both. I have heard both. Like they'll call knee bars leg bars sometimes. That's always weird to me, but it is. But think about it. It's an arm bar.
Yeah,
it's a leg bar.
Not an elbow bar.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's true.
Yeah,
Elbow
see?
bar.
That sounds weird.
Yeah. Sounds weird.
All right. Okay. So, how do people determine this? Like, what do you? Because here's the other thing. I'm a big guy. I don't like jumping up and running around.
Yeah.
So I also think that kind of has to do with your size and shape and all that too. And I guess your athleticism. Damn, all these things are going to be like the perfect storm to make you whoever you are.
Kind of does.
So,
and I
what's
think
the chance you can change it?
I don't think these are things that you're necessarily consciously forming when you're starting jiu-jitsu. You just kind of like your body just goes where it goes. And you find out like, I like this better. I tend to do this more. That's what it was for me.
And that makes sense. I mean, yeah, because, well, we're human beings. We still look for the path of least resistance.
Path of least, it's so
and
true.
We're going to go, well, if you're super athletic, you don't mind jumping up and running because you're like, you know what? I can run to the side. I can run to the side faster than they can recover their legs and put them in front of me because I'm so athletic. And then you might just be like, I like this.
Now.
I'm going to keep doing it. Yeah, for now. And I'm going to keep doing this. And then that turns you into the freaking the Toriano, throw your legs around, do a freaking star pass and all that other crazy shit.
Like, it's so weird because I watch people roll in our school, and some guys are, like, pretty athletic, and they're young, and they're spry, and they just scramble like a mofo, right? And they're just going at it. And I look, and I'm like, oh, my God, these guys are going fast. But then I'll roll with the same guys, and it's like it's a totally different roll. It's a totally different cadence. Like, I don't play that game with them.
You don't feed into it.
I don't feed into that, and I'm going to make sure that they play my game, and I'm not playing theirs. So there's no scrambling, very, very little scrambling. If they do, it's by I messed up somehow, and I had to get out of something. But yeah, I'm not trying to scramble with a 20-year-old kid.
See, and I think, you're also going to be restrained by who can control the pacing of the match, right? Like if you're a pressure guy, but you're going up against a guy who dances around and jumps around on you, you're going to get passed at first.
Yeah.
They're going to be running around you, but then you're going to have to say, okay, but I'm comfortable here. Fine, he got around me. I lock him up. I get back to that closed guard.
Thing, yeah.
And if I got him in close guard, he's not doing all that dancing and shit.
Exactly.
So you got to kind of get him to your game.
Damn. You got to dictate the game, basically.
You have to, right?
Yeah.
Because I've said this on plenty of podcasts here before. When I first came here, my game was close guard. My game is freaking the same, dude. Like, I pretty much play the same game. But upon introduction to California, you motherfuckers were running around on me.
We were breakdancing on your chest.
Yeah, you were fucking breakdancing on me. And I was getting past, and I'm like, what the shit is going on, right? But I realized, like, it was just a different style. It was a style we just weren't doing as much over at Hassett's. Now, a couple of the guys were, but we grind over there. We were like a freaking bunch of bulldozers and shit. And I had to get used to it. And once I kind of got used to people like dancing around, I was like, okay, I'm ready. Boom. I started catching people. I started bringing them back in. I was like an octopus. You grab them, you just drag them into the deep end, you know? Just pull them in. And now I'm fine. Now I don't even give a shit. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm so used to people trying to dance around on me. It's like, nah, that shit don't work anymore.
So, okay, so let's try to bring this home. So, what do you think about a white belt getting a bunch of Instagram moves? Because he doesn't really even know, he doesn't really know what his game is at that point. Like, he probably couldn't answer those questions I just laid out. Like, he wouldn't know. He'd say, I don't know if I'm top or bottom. I don't really care, right? So, if you can't answer those questions, then you don't really know what your style is, right? Yeah. And so then you won't really know what moves to pick, to work on outside of, what you're being taught at your school. So, maybe I would just... I don't know, dude. Maybe it's too soon to start exploring all that. I would probably just focus on the basics.
So, we always speak in generalities. Yes. So, in general, your average white belt, they should maybe look at Instagram just to see something that's impressive, but they should not bring that shit to the table. They shouldn't be they're trying to shortcut things because they need to just focus on basics. It should be a very basic game. Like, you should build a foundation, right? You shouldn't say, look, these weird, crazy things, they're at the top of the pyramid, right?
Yeah.
You can't flip it upside down and then say, well, I'm going to use all this fancy shit, and I'm not even going to know all the basic stuff that's up here. It should be at the bottom. I'm trying to put it at the top and call it my basics. You've built your freaking pyramid all wrong. You know what I mean? I think have to start at the beginning.
The only exception I would make would be, let's just say you're a white belt, for example, and you love Kimuras, and you've been taught basic Kimuras, and you kind of embrace them, and you're hitting Kimuras all the time. Then if you were to go on Instagram and see some new Kimura entries, that would totally embrace that.
Fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough.
Because it's kind of within your wheelhouse. Because you've already identified to a small degree of what works for you, even though it may not be your whole game just yet. It's a portion of your game.
Well, yeah, okay. So it's like you've got some basics in, and now you're just looking at the advanced study of little sections of your basic. You're saying, I want to take this basic move and I want to elevate that one.
Correct.
Right? It's like getting a freaking degree in school, in your high school, or you can go elementary, high school, all this stuff. That's your ground level stuff. Then you say, okay, I'm going to go to college. You just learn a little bit more of your ground level stuff. But then you go, but I like these Kimuras and these attacks and this. Well, now you're looking at, that's like a graduate level degree. You start to specialize a little bit more. You start paying, you dig deeper into what everybody knows, basically. Yeah. You know more about it, right? And then your advanced degrees, then you're like, your doctorate, that's when you're like, you're laser focused on these things and you're super good and confident. And
I think at a high level, like the way you just described it, you'll have that proficiency with maybe a variety of moves, instead of just one.
Absolutely.
And I don't think you need to be like a gazillion of them. You could be a high level of maybe 4 or 5 moves that you're going to be legit, man. That's really good, actually.
Black belts, for the most part, are really, 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 really good at basics. And then they've got some other shit that it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. And they can do it because they're confident that if it doesn't work, they can instantly revert to another basic move and finish what they missed with this advanced shit. So it's like their basics are so down pat that they're on autopilot. Yeah. Like I don't have to think about how to catch you in a sweep or think how to hit you with a triangle or bumps, whatever. Like that's a given, right? Those things are given. So if you start doing that fancy shit, you're like, okay, I'm actually really paying attention. I'm thinking about hitting you with the fancy shit. If it doesn't work and you pass my guard, I'm okay because I just go back to my basics. I recover my guard, and I try some other fancy shit later. So
yeah, and I would also not leave out escapes too, because you could be a guy that's really good at escapes. Like even if your whole game is not, you're not the super submission guy where you specialize in one submission. What if you're the guy that's like just freaking untapable? Like this guy just can't submit him. Like that is like a high level guy. Like you just can't submit him.
Being untappable is
valuable.
Such a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
because it frees you up from any fear of trying other shit.
Exactly.
You're like, if I get it, cool. If I miss it, okay. Now I'm in a shit position, but I can get out of that.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, the 5 minute runs out. Good game.
Good
know
game.
What I mean?
Stalemate.
You're right. Freaking stalemate. Now, if you're playing for points, if you're a competition guy and all that, well, then that changes the entire dynamic. And I think we've already said this a million times. We're obviously speaking to your hobbyists, your generalists.
Man.
We're talking to the jokers who aren't freaking paying the bills with this shit.
I gotta say this, man. Okay, if you're at a school and your instructor says, "Okay, now you do this verso," boom, you got 2 points, and you have competition is not on your mind at all. I don't know if that's the best.
I will never I'm never going to tell any of you just to leave your school. I won't do that.
No, I'm not.
I'm not going to do that.
But is that the best fit? I don't know.
It might be.
I mean, you're clearly
a square
being
peg
taught,
in a round hole.
You're
It
clearly
could very
being
well
taught
be
points.
So, if you
That's a
are
whole
in a
other
competition
conversation right there.
school, but you're not a competition guy, damn.
Well, that's
Like,
the thing. Think about it. People always think that like, because the name competition sounds like it's tough. Oh, yeah, I'm in a competition school. A lot of that means, well, I got 2 points here. I got 3 points here. I got 4 points. You understand that system very well. And a lot of those moves are predicated to getting points above all. And then if
It's
a
for
submission
gaming
comes,
it.
great. You get your submission. It lines up. But a lot of it is points driven.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to compete and you're learning all this points driven and your jiu-jitsu is basically running on points, I don't know if that's the best fit.
You won't. I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. I don't think you'll be as fulfilled if you go, all right, man, we're running out of time. I need to do this little shake and shimmy to get an advantage. And you're like, I win.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's like, did you?
Yeah.
I know. Damn it. That's a whole nother
I would say
freaking
like
story.
if there's like you're going to see this more nogi, like a submission only. That's legit. That's a different. That's going to be more of like, here's a competition school sub only, because your outcome is the submission.
Correct.
Where in the gi points, you could win by an advantage. You could win by points, whatever. And a lot of times they just try to rack up those points. Obviously, I would do the same thing if I was competing in that, but
that's why it's never going to be in the Olympics. It's not going to happen.
We could have a whole episode about that.
I know,
to be honest.
dude. I know. All right, I know. See, listen, we were talking about some good shit, and then how do we get into this?
It's competition.
All right. Well, anyway, the whole point of this whole thing: delete your Instagram, learn from your instructors.
Delete your Instagram.
Don't be a YouTube black belt. Just get out there, actually train. Get out there and learn some stuff firsthand. If you're just getting started or even early on in your journey, like really try not to let yourself be distracted by all the freaking flashy shit.
Yeah.
Like just focus on your basics, become really, really good, very proficient at this. You're going to sprinkle in some fancy shit here and there. It's going to happen naturally.
Yeah.
But don't have your whole game be predicated on what you've seen on Instagram, right?
I think that's it.
I think
Isn't it
that makes
amazing, though? Check it out. Here we are in 2026, and we're telling people there's too much information out there.
Information overload.
Like when there was no like
There was
Instagram.
nothing.
None of that.
Dude, everything was a secret.
Yeah.
You couldn't go train at other freaking schools. You could tell who you were fighting by how, or, what school they were from by how they fight and all this. Now it's
You're right. Nobody wanted to share anything.
Yeah,
it was
everything's
very
just out
like
there now.
It had like a Cobra Kai mentality, right?
Yeah. Hell
Our
yeah.
school versus your
That's
school
no sensei.
sucks.
Hell yeah.
Didn't they have like magazines too, like Black Belt
Black
magazines,
Belt
BJJ?
magazine, dude. I used to read those. They were freaking awesome back in the day.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're gonna show you the secrets to how the Machados
There'd always
do
be
X,
one-
Y, Z.
There'd be like one magazine all wrinkled up, like when you're a kid, like an old Playboy magazine,
Like an old Playboy out in
found
the
buried in
woods.
the woods. It's been rained on. Right? Those are good old innocent days.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're right.
Now it's degeneracy.
That's a
filth.
terrible example that's completely accurate.
Yeah.
That's a perfectly accurate example.
Stay off the internet.
Stay off the internet. Go back and read magazines.
Yeah.
Hopefully the pages won't be stuck together.
Oh my God. You had to ruin it.
Had to ruin it. Okay, everybody. Once again, this has been a fun time. I enjoyed it. Shit, I don't know if you guys enjoyed it. I had fun. So make sure you get out there, freaking chime in, share with us your thoughts. Tell us. You might be like, hey, you guys are totally wrong. I learned my entire game from Instagram, and I'll kick your ass. And if that's the case, cool, man. Cool. Let us know.
You're an outlier.
Yeah, you're an outlier. I learned all my shits on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Make sure you share that. Let us know. And until the next time, Rod, what do you got to tell the people?
Just keep training.
Keep
next week.
training. Hell yeah. Us.